We are back. The Rundown, episode 21. Kyle Stackpole, Stevie Katz, I'm Gabe Henderson. And we got a special guest today. We're not going to get to him just yet, but it's a very special guest.
Big news.
Big news. I'm not going to say the name, but it's a running back from Raleigh, North Carolina.
His name rhymes with mice.
And his last name. You will love this guy, trust me.
It was great. It was a great interview. It was.
It will be a great interview, and I'm looking forward to it, getting him on. But before we get to him, we got some news to cover. Kyle, you were at the Combine last week.
Mm-hmm.
You put out a lot. Well, we put out a lot of great content, all the guys, and you had some really good interviews. Takeaways for you. What were some things that stood out to you while you were there?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was that we got to talk to Kyle Smith, the VP of player personnel, and that was the first time, and I don't even know how long that the media got to talk to him. He was at the podium. He did an official media session, and it was just really cool hearing him talk about his relationship with Ron Rivera and going through the draft evaluation and free agency evaluations, and him talking about Dwayne and mentioning, guys like Chase Young and different prospects like that. So really for me, it was just hearing from him, because he has a huge role within the organization now, and him and Rivera are really the two guys that are spearheading the NFL draft and free agency, along with the director of pro personnel, Alex Santos. So it was cool hearing from him. And then also Ron Rivera talked to the media plenty. He had a podium session. He had a scrum. He had a sit-down with Redskins.com, voice of Redskins, Larry Michael. That's on the website right now. So there was a lot of Redskins stuff going on and a lot of news being made.
Ron gets it. I like Ron, especially with the media. He just gives you everything you need as far as content. For us, I think from a content perspective, and for fans to actually get an understanding of what moves, what the Redskins front office is thinking. And I just love Ron, the fact that he's able. And he's open, and he gives us information and content. And he gave us a lot of, quality content while we were there. And a thing that really stood out to me was, where he stands right now with the positioning and some of the needs. Why we let go of some of these guys. He answers the whys. And one thing that stood out to me was, the whole Chase Young situation, the number 2 draft pick. People were asking him hey, what are you going to do? And he was like, hey, everything right now is open. Mm-hmm. And if you're a Redskins fan, if you're anybody, you have to believe that anything is everything. You have to listen to any and everything. And I feel like that makes a lot of sense with that pick. The Redskins have a lot of leverage. So whether they go, where everybody's saying Chase Young, or, they trade back, there's a lot of people there. And a guy that stood out to me this draft was, I talked about him last week, Isaiah Simmons and Henry Ruggs. If the Redskins trade back with the Dolphins, get the 5 and the 18th pick, I think you would definitely get both of those picks. And both of those guys had, really, really good days. I told you Henry Ruggs was going to run a 4.2. 4.27, bro, that's tied 5th all time in NFL Combine history. He has hands. He can do everything you need him to do. And then, Isaiah Simmons, what can he not do? What can't he do?
He was unbelievable. He can literally do it all.
Crazy. 4.39 40. I got his stats right here. 4.39 40. 38-inch vert. The guy's just a freak athlete. He can play sideline to sideline. He can pretty much play any position on the field. And having a guy like that, a game changer on the defense, the Redskins are in a good position wherever they do. And Ron Rivera made it clear and concise. Hey, we're going to look at every option on the table. We're going to do what's best for this organization, what's best for this franchise, and I like the path that Ron Rivera has taken this franchise.
Yeah, and he even made national news when he said, "Hey, we're gonna bring in Tua, and we're gonna talk to Joe Burrow, and we're gonna meet with these guys." And everyone took that as, "Oh, is that something where are they gonna draft a QB instead?" Right. But it's just them doing their due diligence. They need to see what these guys can offer them, because that also gives them leverage.
Right.
Because if they interview these guys and they fall in love with them and their interviews are really well, then there's other teams that probably feel the same way.
Absolutely.
And maybe they're willing to trade up and give more picks. So I know a lot of people were making a big deal out of that, but I really think it was just the Redskins doing their due diligence. They have the number 2 pick. They have their pick of pretty much every single player available, even if a lot of people are saying Chase Young. The player that stood out to me, and is Chase Young. I mean, he didn't go through workouts, but it was just really interesting to hear him talk at the podium, and he talked a lot about the Redskins. I mean, he said he wasn't really a fan of teams, but he did grow up watching the Redskins all the time because they were right in his backyard. I mean, went to DeMatha High School, 15 minutes away from FedEx Field. He said he grew up a fan of different players, a couple Redskins, and it's just he said it would be a blessing to play with the Redskins. And then later that week, talking to an ESPN reporter, said that the Redskins meeting stood out the most to him. So it was just interesting hearing him talk and just the confidence that he has and what it would be like to play with the Redskins. Not to say that is going to happen, but it remains a real possibility. So It was interesting just getting to know him a little bit and getting to know someone that could be on the Redskins roster.
Another guy that will be on the Redskins roster this year that we already teased in the beginning of the show is, I guess we can drop the news now, right?
Yeah, why not?
Let Stevie drop the news. Stevie, who is the guest that we're about to interview?
None other than Bryce Love.
Hey, Raleigh, North Carolina native.
Let's get to it.
Connect with the Redskins this offseason. Follow Redskins on Instagram and Twitter for team news updates and exclusive Redskins content.
Sign up for FanDuel now and get $5 in total bonus. Just make your first deposit to get started, and you'll get an extra $5 in site credit. Go to FanDuel.com/FFT or download the FanDuel app.
Redskins defensive lineman number 93, Jonathan Allen, hates to lose. So he's teaming up with Papa John's and you to help donate to Sasha Bruce Youth Work, helping homeless children in our region every day. Team 93 needs you to make it a winning day for your family and these special children. You'll get a large 2-topping pizza and an order of wings for just $20. And Papa John's will donate 93 cents to Sasha Bruce's Youth Work for every single order. Play to eat, play to give, but play to win, because nobody wants to lose. Kyle, we always come through when we need it most, bro. I said we were going to get Bryce Love on the podcast. We got my man Bryce Love on the podcast. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. Good to be here.
Good to have you, man. This is one of those podcasts that really mean a lot to me because being from Raleigh, North Carolina, we actually got another Raleigh native on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
He always talk about Maryland sports. I'm like, bro, North Carolina is the best state.
You can have this. It's all good.
So
North Carolina where it's at now, that's for sure.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Got the Wake Forest Roseville shirt. Wake Forest, Raleigh, North Carolina, born and raised. You went to Stanford, chose that over a plethora of big-time offers that you had, and that led to you coming here. Of course, last year you sat out with the knee injury. We'll get to all of that. But for you, man, just being here now, like what's the feeling of actually, making your family proud, actually being in a place that you can provide?
Shoot, I mean, it's just, everybody always says it, it's just a dream to, even be in the NFL. That was the biggest thing for me. Growing up, you always hear the statistics, the 1% chance, that you have of being in the league and all that. But, being able to say that you're here, that's the biggest thing. But at the same time, not getting complacent and, keeping that mindset that you want to work and all those things, just a big thing with me.
And then just what has the past year been like for you? Because a lot of rookies, they get drafted and they go into off-season workouts and mini camp and training camp. You didn't get to do that recovering from the knee injury. So just what has this past year been like and where are you at right now in your recovery?
Yeah. I mean, it's just as hard as it could be, to be honest with you. But, I'm big on looking at the positives, through my faith in God, I believe that everything happens for a reason. And so, being able to take the positives from it, to sit back and, see how AP goes throughout the day, see how, Darius prepares, see how CT carries himself as a professional all the time. Just seeing all those things and being able to learn those things as well as, pick up how to learn an offense, how to attack game day. That was just huge things for me. And on top of that, being able to be where I am now and, having the ultimate goal of being ready to play, just missing football and all those things. And, ultimately I'm ready to get out there and compete.
Mentally, I know you say you had a lot of guys to learn from, but for you mentally, how do you feel like you've grown this year, having to take a step back from the game?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely matured a lot. You know, that's the biggest thing. You know, I was never big on like social media and, you know, tweets and all that good stuff. But, you know, kind of just having your head down and working has been my biggest thing. And, you know, there's definitely good days and there's bad days, but understanding that it's a process. And, you know, the ultimate goal is still the same. And, you know, chasing that and with the goal of not only being back to where I was, but being back better than I was. So just keeping that.
Man, last year when I found out that they drafted you, I was like, Bryce, we got Bryce here now.
Yeah.
I went crazy. And you know, last year, you know, the Redskins were ranked, you know, the number 1. They had the number 1 draft class in, you know, in the NFL, and then having you a part of that, you know, what was something I was like, all right, it's about to be dope. But you know, having that stuff, but having to, you know, take a year off, seeing these rookies, seeing how they perform, what was it like for you to, you know, see this draft class that you were a part of and saying, you know, you guys like Terry McLaurin, Montez Sweat get out there and ball, and then like, well, I guess the question I'm trying to ask, what was that like for you mentally? You know, wanting to be on the field, but you know, having to cheer your draft class on, seeing them perform.
And it kind of relates back to what I was saying. You know, being able to sit back and learn. You know, seeing the development of Dwayne. You know, how Dwayne towards the end of the season, you know, was attacking each day. You know, all those different things. How Terry, you know, was going out and balling. Jimmy, Montez. I mean, it's just so many good players in the class that came out and, you know, were able to contribute. And, you know, I'm having that same mindset of, you know, going out with something to prove and going out, you know, to make the team, to find a way to contribute. You know, all those different things, you know, taking it one step at a time.
Then you mentioned getting to learn from Adrian Peterson and watching how Geis works. What do you think stood out to you the most about Adrian Peterson and just how he goes about his business, how he goes throughout the season?
Wow, I mean, just literally what you just said, you know, how he goes about his work. You know, there's so many stories around the building of, you know, how he stays late, you know, how he'll do different pool workouts.
How he eat donuts.
Exactly. You know, he be eating, that's for sure. He always keeps the, you know, cookies on him for sure. But, you know, just how he is as a person beyond anything else is what stood out to me. You know, for all the accolades that he has and, you know, all the success that he has had, you know, for him to still be down to earth and still be, you know, cool, you know, approachable, relatable, you know, that's been big for me, big for my development. And, you know, it's good to have him out here for sure.
Man, it's good to have you out here too. And, you know, Kyle Smith last week at the Combine and Ron Rivera, they both said, hey, like, in addition to, you know, Darius Geisen and AP, like, Bryce Love's going to make a contribution to this team next year. What kind of contribution do you think you will bring to this team, and what should Redskins fans be excited about?
You know, I'm trying to, you know, really just do a little bit of everything. You know, that's my biggest thing. Finding a way to do whatever the team asks me to do. That's, you know, I'm willing to do anything. And, you know, there's so many, you know, talented backs on the roster. You know, that definitely means a lot to me. And at the end of the day, you know, I'm focused on being the best version of myself. And, you know, like I said, you know, making the team, you know, contributing and, you know, doing all those things at a high level.
And then in Carolina, Rivera had a back like Christian McCaffrey who, like you want to do, he does it all.
Yeah.
Receptions, out of the backfield, runs the ball up the middle. He also went to Stanford. Did you have conversations with him, and has there been a relationship about what he was able to accomplish and how maybe you can try to, you know, move on that same path?
Yeah, it's definitely been communication through that. You know, he's definitely one of my good friends. We go all the way back to the Stanford days and whatnot. So, you know, seeing what he was able to do in that offense and seeing, you know, how much not only him but the entire team loved Coach Rivera, and, you know, being able to meet Coach Rivera and all those different things. You know, in my mind, it's kind of weird how life works and it comes in full circle. From, you know, C-Mac going to the Panthers, being with Coach Rivera, to going on visits to the Panthers in the draft process, to, you know, then Coach Rivera comes to the Redskins and all that good stuff. So, you know, in ways it's kind of meant to be, and, you know, kind of, you know, excited to see how things shake up.
Practices had to be crazy at Stanford.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you got, 2 Heisman finalists, I mean, yourself, CMC, like, practices had to be crazy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing was, you know, I feel like I learned so much from him. It's just, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond that, I mean, we had so many, especially before they got rid of two-a-days, I'll be honest with you. Before they got rid of two-a-days, I mean, it would be practice, I mean, hitting with so many talented players. Harrison Phillips is with the Bills, Solomon Thomas with the 49ers now, Blake Martinez, Brennan Scarlett. I mean, we were crazy. That's what I'm saying. My freshman year, I was getting smacked around. I'll never forget the first time I caught a screen and Brennan Scarlett came from all the way across the field and smacked me. So, that's just, coming from that level of competition, Coach Shaw did a good job of making it able to adjust to this level.
Do you have any stories about Christian McCaffrey? Just any stories that showed what kind of player he was, what kind of player he would become in the NFL?
Dag. I mean, I probably got so many. I'd say, man, definitely the first time I met him, just how he was talking about the program and how he was talking about the team. And I remember being on campus and, the first time I come on the campus and seeing how he worked and seeing, how competitive he was as a person, it definitely leaves a mark on you to, chase that.
I mean, that I was about to say that has to be like, motivation for you. It's like, hey, I've seen this guy. I know what CMC is doing in the league. Like that kind of, does that set the bar for you? If like, okay, I can do this too.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. It was never a doubt in my mind. With Christian for the things that he would be able to achieve. It's crazy the progression from his rookie year to now. He's doing so many good things at such a high level. And he still has a lot to prove in his own regard, for sure. I know he still has that same chip on his shoulder as well. And I know he's excited to get after it and, make that team the best they can be.
My last question for you is, what motivates you?
Dag. I say, wanting to be the best that I can be. I'm really, intrinsically motivated. I have, obviously, my faith, my family. They definitely push me. And at the end of the day, I just want to be the best that I can be. And, I feel like I have a lot of meat on the bone, a lot that I'm chasing. And, I'm just excited to get after it.
And then I got two more questions.
Go for it.
One football, one non-football. So the question that a lot of people are asking is, when is Bryce Love going to come back? When can we expect to see him back on the field? So where are you in your recovery, and when do you expect to be back full go?
I mean, of course, right now, I'm feeling good. I'm getting after it. I've been, training everything every day. Right now, the goal is to be doing OTAs and all that good stuff. So, I'm thinking that's going to be a good goal, and I'm excited to be out there finally. To get out there and
I felt
compete.
that.
Yeah,
I felt that.
Yeah, so it's gonna be good, and definitely be out there, of course, by training camp and all that good stuff. But I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure fans will be happy to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
They kept asking, like, when's Bryce coming back? When's Bryce coming back? So that's why I said to Gabe, we got to get him on and and let the fans know that he's coming back soon. So, and then the last question for me is just, I think it's really cool outside of football. You've said that you want to become a doctor, after this is all said and done. So I'm just curious, what motivated you to do that? What made you want to, or what is that? Why do you want to pursue that after football?
And have you tied, your injury in with your book knowledge?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, being that I know probably everything there is to know about the knee at this point, probably a little bit. But I'd say the motivating thing was, my mom always pushed me to be the most that I can, or be the best that I can be in everything that I do. So obviously in school, ultimately I fell in love with the medical track, and of course graduating from Stanford with the human biology degree, that was definitely a big step. And just having that motivation to want to help people and want to give back to the community, being on this platform is an amazing opportunity, and it's truly a blessing to play this game. At the end of the day, being able to go back and help communities and give back in positive ways, to me was my biggest motivating thing, and I feel like in that regard I'll be able to help out.
Go.
One more follow-up. I'm sorry. One more follow-up. I was just wondering if there's anything you plan on doing during your football career that will help you, become a doctor afterwards.
That's a great question.
Yeah. So I know while I was rehabbing and stuff, I met with some of the staff at the Children's Hospital out this way, and wanting to kind of get to maybe an intern role, this, that, and another, kind of just following along, shadowing different people doing different things, different off seasons. Maybe not this year, of course, because I'm locked in with the rehab and things like that, being able to play. But, in the upcoming years or upcoming months, even if I have the time, being able to go out there and learn from that. And on top of that, being able to go back to Stanford to kind of stay on top of those things as well would definitely be big.
So you've really used this I wouldn't say a set, but I guess a setback to actually, fuel your, off the field passions too.
Yeah. Kind of like I said, I feel like I know a lot about the knee now, but I mean, injuries or this injury definitely puts, a lot of things into perspective with, how quickly the game can be taken away from you. So, keeping that same passion within both of the things has definitely been good.
Did you know that the Washington Redskins are sponsored by Koch Industries? That's KOCH Koch. Their 67,000 U.S. employees make a lot of things that make game day better. Gurner Turf, they make that. Stronger paper products for tailgating, they make that. Oh, and electronic components and TVs and smart devices so you can watch a Redskins victory anywhere? Yeah, Koch makes that too. See all they make for on and off the field at kochmakesthat.com.
Looking for another chance to win? The 100K Scratcher replay from the Virginia Lottery is exactly that. Now through March 31st, any non-winning Virginia Lottery Scratcher offers a shot at winning $500 in a daily drawing or even a $10,000 grand prize. Here's the lowdown. Any non-winning Virginia Lottery Scratcher can be entered into a daily drawing. In each daily drawing, 2 players will win $500 each. Every entry into a daily drawing is automatically entered into the grand prize drawing, which is set for April 7th. On April 7th, one lucky player will win $10,000 grand prize. All entries must be entered either via valottery.com/replay or the Virginia Lottery app. The fun doesn't stop if you don't win on your Scratcher. Just replay it with the 100K Scratcher replay. Visit valottery.com/replay for more information. The odds of winning a prize in the $100,000 Scratcher replay promotion depend on the number of entries received.
I feel like we can talk to Bryce Love any day of the week, hours at a time. The guy's very conversational, really good guy, and I think it's pretty obvious that he's excited to get back on the field this year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he can't wait. And he's just a guy, but he's also someone who made the most of his situation. I mean, he said he tries to look at every situation positively, no matter, how hard or difficult it is. And he really made sure to take advantage of the time that he had in the meeting rooms with Adrian Peterson and Darius Geis and Chris Thompson, and just knowing and just learning how those guys worked. And then also, talking to another Stanford Cardinal, Christian McCaffrey, who obviously plays for the Panthers, has been one of the best backs in the league. So while he hasn't been on the field and he hasn't been able to progress that way, he's been really progressing in all these other ways so that when he is fully healthy, he's going to come back and hit the ground running. So it was really good to hear from him, and it was good to hear that he's doing well and, he's on track to, come back.
I'm glad we brought up the question of, just him and Christian McCaffrey. I asked him, practices had to be crazy.
Yeah.
But he even explained his draft process. He went to Carolina. He did his, he talked to Ron Rivera before. Like, the Panthers were interested in him while Christian McCaffrey was there. And, just seeing that entire dynamic, how big how high Christian McCaffrey is on, Ron Rivera's list. And then having a similar back, similar mode, a guy that really is really tight with Christian McCaffrey. I just think this offense is going to be phenomenal with a guy like Bryce Love. You have Ron Rivera's coached a similar back in Christian McCaffrey, a guy that's is very dynamic, can catch the ball, shifty. I mean, Bryce Love. I mean, he set three world records in track and field when he was like 13. The guy. I mean,
he was a crazy track guy.
So I mean, he can pretty much do it all, and just having him healthy, it's going to be very exciting to see what he can do in this offense. And Bryce is just a guy that just I told him I felt it when he said, like, I get to play football again finally. Like, I felt that. I feel like he's just itching to get back on the field. I mean, just from learning, about his knee, learning about the injury, learning what he needs to do to recover. The sky's the limit for me, and you could just feel, his excitement and his energy just to be able to get back on the field. And I'm excited to see what he can do and what role he can have in this offense.
Yeah, it's kind of just crazy to think about that ESPN ranks the Redskins rookie class last year as the most productive in the NFL. and that's not even including a guy like Bryce Love, who
Was
2
up
years
for
ago
Heisman, bro.
was the Heisman Trophy finalist. So it's good. I'm really excited to see what he can do. I mean, we said it last year, but the Redskins have a lot of running backs with a lot of potential, and just adding him to the mix, it's going to keep other guys fresh. It's just going to make the offense more dynamic, because he said he wants to be a back that can do it all, and he showed that in college. So it's gonna be cool seeing him out there. Definitely one of the players I'm most excited to see what he can do this year.
It's crazy because all three of those backs have different dynamics. AP is AP. Geis is very versatile, can do everything. And then you have Bryce Love, who's a speedster that can do everything that you need him to do too. He's the fastest out of the three, out of the trio. And I'm just interested to see. I think the biggest thing for me is just seeing how he is in like the run blocking and pass blocking game.
Yeah.
Because Bryce, I know he can do it. But, taking a year off and then, having to, not actually having that physical, contact, with a defender. I think that's going to be one of the bigger learning curves for him, actually getting, NFL pressure, actually having a Bosa, you got to block a Bosa off the edge. So I know it'll be he's ready for the challenge, I'm sure, but at the same time, it's like, all right, how is he going to adjust, to these NFL DNs, to these backers? Let's say Chase Young's here, having to Chase Young come off the edge.
A good way to learn.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting, man. I think he's up for the challenge. I think he's going to kill it. I expect a big year from him this upcoming season. So it's just a matter of when the ball touches his hands, what is he going to do?
Yeah, and he's not going to have any trouble learning the offense, learning the plays, learning the scheme. Randy Jordan said it. He is a really smart dude. He went to Stanford. Mm-hmm. He wants to be a doctor.
Yeah.
He's unbelievably smart, and you can just tell that the last year he was mentally locked in. Okay, what do I need to know? What are these guys doing at the running back position that is putting them over the edge? So I don't think that's going to be a problem for him. I think you're right. It's going to be the physicality and adjusting to the NFL, just bigger, stronger, faster guys. So, but he was a really good conversation. I'm glad we were able to get him on.
I don't think I've ever talked to anybody that's been dealing with the injury and they said, hey, I talked to my doctors and, I actually, got notes from them to help me in the future. I'm just like, usually people just get surgery, they go through training, go through rehab, and then they're back on the field. Bryce is like actually, he said he's going to get an internship at the Children's Hospital, and it's like, I actually talked to the doctor that did my surgery, and he recommended me for an internship. I'm like, bro, this is like next level, bro. So
he's always thinking ahead, always thinking about how he can help out himself, help out the community.
Exactly.
Too. So.
Exactly. He's got a bright future, and that's all I got, man. That's all I got. That was a really good interview.
Yeah, I think I'm good too. Should we tell them where to watch?
Where should they watch?
All right, you can watch on YouTube.
Okay.
You can watch on Redskins.com, Redskins app. You can listen Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, a personal favorite. So we got them coming every week. We got the free agency coming up. There's a lot of big moves to be made. A lot of variables for the Redskins. So
less than 2 weeks away.
Yep. So we'll be previewing that next week,
yep.
For sure. Really just give a bunch of guys the Redskins could be targeting. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a really fun episode, and it's an exciting time. We had the combine, we got the free agency, drafts coming up, and then, off-season workouts start in the beginning of April.
Crazy, right?
So this season, everyone's been waiting for it, and it's coming soon enough.
What a time to be alive. Well, that's all I got. For Stevie Katz, Kyle Stackpole, I'm Gabe Henderson. This was episode 21 of The Rundown.
Are uninvited pests ruining your plans? Let PMSI, the pest control partner of the Washington Redskins, handle it for you. Call today for your free inspection, and they'll work around your schedule to provide you the best solution possible to defend your home territory against pests of all kinds, including mold. Visit mypmsi.com for the game plan to control the pests on your home turf. That's mypmsi.com.
At Coke, our 67,000 U.S. employees make things that make your game days better, like fertilizer for greener turf and stronger paper products for tailgating. Viewing the game from your couch? Coke also makes the electronic components in TVs and smart devices so you can watch your Redskins victory anywhere. Coke, we make that See it all at KOCHmakesthat.com. That's CokeMakesThat.com.
The time for adventure is now. And if you want a car as exciting as your lifestyle, then it has to be an all-wheel drive Honda SUV. With more features, the CR-V has standard Honda sensing, more room for friends, the Pilot has seating for 8, more comfort, the HR-V has available heated seats, and more rugged. The Passport is built for adventure with ample cargo space and hidden storage compartments. So no matter when adventure calls, your Honda will always be ready. See your local Honda dealer today.
Darryl Green here. I'm used to winning teams, and I know the value of physical health, but financial health is also important. Having the right bank on your team is critical to a winning formula. Businesses need positive cash flow to succeed. That's why I recommend Main Street Bank for your business banking. I'm a founding director of Main Street Bank, and my formula for success on the field is the same off the field. Work hard and surround yourself with great teammates. Trust me, you want Main Street Bank on your team. Go to mstreetbank.com. We bank where you breathe. Member FDIC.